A Mickey Frey goal and assist just 3 minutes apart saw Queen's Park Rangers overturn a first half 1-0 deficit on Friday night, making it 2 wins in a row over Luton Town in 4 days, QPR's first win of the 24-25 championship season, and 11 competitive matches without a win for the Hatters. So as usual, I'm going to break down QPR's performance and go over the main talking points in this video. So if you like what you see, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and if you want to support the channel further, you can become a member for £1.99 a month by clicking the link in the description below. After fielding a considerably rotated side for Tuesday night's Carabao Cup clash, it was back to full strength for Queen's Park Rangers on Friday night. Cifuentes made just 2 changes to the side that faced Argyle at home last weekend, but those 2 tweaks did lead to a shuffle across the entire midfield. Colback came into the middle alongside Field at the cost of Paul Smith, which therefore pushed Dembele out onto the right wing and Madsen up into the 10, where he so often featured for Westerlo last season. The more surprising of the 2 changes was the replacement of Koki Saito with Alfie Lloyd out on the left-hand side. I was impressed by Lloyd's sub-display against Luton just 3 days before, but given most of us expected that Lloyd and Colley's involvement were reduced with the signings of Koki and Karamoki, this one caught me a little bit off guard. It was likewise just the 2 changes for Rob Edwards' side after fielding a strong Luton Town team midweek, presumably in the hope that something would click if they just stuck with it after some 21 efforts at goal at Loftus Road. We could have had another early opener just 5 minutes into this match after Frey trapped Lloyd's head on, charged at goal and slotted a free Dembele in on the right hand side of goal, but Doughty did well to shut down the angle and Karamoko blasted wide. Play batted between the 2 sides, but QPR were on top to begin with Lloyd a real early threat. That was until the 18th minute when yet another cross exposed our weak underbelly against the run of play. Doughty's initial corner ball didn't threaten, bouncing over a congested box, but Baptiste's dangerous cross back into the mix after a weak closing down from Colback caught all but Frey rooted to the ground, leaving Mark McGuinness free to head goalwards. Nardi made the initial save, but his parry hit Dunn straight in the shin, and all he could do was watch it trickle over the line. You can say it's unfortunate, you can pick a problem with Nardi's goalkeeping unlike most of the other goals he's conceded this season, but it goes back to 2 recurring problems in defence. We don't shut Baptiste down well enough on the edge of the box, see Hamer and Whittaker's goals over the past 2 weeks for reference, and we don't get up for the cross into the box itself, which you can see any of the goals we conceded against West Brom for reference. It's going to keep happening for as long as we don't squash these issues. The important thing here naturally was the response. We needed to remain bright and bold and keep that early momentum up, but instead we saw a similar outcome to whenever we've gone a goal up ourselves this season. We got pushed back, we couldn't handle Luton's press, we struggled in midfield, they dominated possession, and they started to create much more chances than we did. Multiple times in this first half they could have gone 2-0 up. Clark's tussle with Colback on 25 minutes led to a dangerous free kick ball from Doughty that neither Burke nor Adebayo could thankfully reach, and 5 minutes later Adebayo would have a shot deflected out for a corner. We just couldn't get on the ball, and then when we did, we just weren't gelling enough. Lloyd looked more out of depth here as time went on. Dembele was less imposing out on the right hand side and unable to deliver the quality balls we've seen in his small sample of games so far, and Madsen couldn't trap or progress any of the good passes he was receiving in that more advanced role. Frey and Lloyd both had shots on the stroke of half time go out for corners, but our only real highlight was Steve Cook nutmegging Adebayo on the edge of his own box. Surprisingly, we returned from the halftime break with no changes, and Luton picked up exactly where they left off. We looked rattled and defensively we were in a real mess, but thankfully after knocking another ball into his own man, Paul Nardi was on the absolute top of his game in this second half. He made his first huge stop on 55 minutes, bounding straight off of his line as Adebayo was slotted through one-on-one and killing his shot almost dead with a crucial slide. And it would prove to be massive because 3 minutes later and 1 minute after Paul Smith joined the pitch in place of Alfie Lloyd, it was now our turn to score against the run of play. It began with a hell of a hoofed ball from Steve Cook, and it was one that suited Frey to a T, because when it dropped in behind McGuinness, he was ready to fight for it, spinning in behind with strength and confidence. He somehow made the bobbling ball stick even with the incoming Mengi joining the skirmish, sliding an inch-perfect ball out to an unmarked Madsen on the left-hand side to follow into the net for his first Rangers goal. And while he may not have got the goal himself, this was all about Mickey. The sheer determination and strength to make something from that Cook ball was insane. Last season he got called a donkey, but here he was looking like a lion. And he would of course be rewarded with a goal of his own just 3 minutes later, and even then he was still involved in its creation, receiving Smith's ball inside, shielding it from Bell, and delivering it to Dembele in space down the middle, who slotted it to Maddison to tee up for Powell in plenty of space out on the left. From there, we saw a Powell delivery of old, a player who has looked much closer to his best over the past few matches. It was a beautiful sweeping ball to the back post, which Frey, who had cleverly snuck in behind unnoticed alongside Dunn, perfectly volleyed in with his right to put us somehow 2-1 up. Watch the goal back and just watch Frey throughout. It's absolutely killer centre forward play. It's exactly what we need. And it's actually exactly what he's been quietly doing this season so far, because that's now 3 goals and 1 assist for him in his last 4 QPR appearances. And it's not just about his goals either, his hold-up play is becoming a real asset for us. Shell-shocked, Luton set about getting back into this game, but Nardi was not about to let this lead slip, slapping away another Adebayo effort from a tight angle on 70 minutes for another great save. And defensively, we really tightened up as a unit compared to that first hour of play. In fact, in the second half, we won 100% of our tackles and we made 31 clearances. It has to be noticed how much of an impact Smith had when he came on before either of the goals too. His introduction allowed us to progress up the pitch with more control and intent, and his work defensively was vital in staving off the resulting Luton pressure that followed as they tried to get back into this match. And QPR's next wave of substitutions, the returning Anderson and Varane for Colback and Maddison, as well as Saito and Sella for Dembele and Frey shortly after, also helped to alleviate the pressure. In fact, after Anderson's twist and turns by the left corner flag won us a corner on the 89th minute, we nearly had another coffee club special to make it 3-1, with Dunn peeling away with ease and dangerously heading the ball into the ground and seemingly goalwards until Kaminsky batted it aside at the last moment. Anderson had a go himself 2 minutes later, picking up tricky Saito's deflected effort and forcing Kaminsky into another save. Luton of course weren't quite done yet, camping in our half for the remainder of extra time, and Carlton Morris coaxed out a third excellent save from Nardi on 94 minutes, making a strong case for man of the match at both ends of the pitch despite his early blunder. It could have so nearly been a Luton equaliser at the death, but Taylor couldn't keep his header on target from Morris's flick on after yet another dangerous Doughty ball into the box. But we stayed ahead, and against the odds, it was job done. What a comeback and what a way to secure our first win of the season. Much like our first win over Luton this week, there were of course issues here. There are things we still need to work on, but there was so much character in this performance, and this is such a good platform to build on going into the international break. Something I think worth noting is that now we've reached the end of the window, we seem to have a hell of a lot of depth, and that feels like he's going to be a real game changer. To have Saito, Anderson, Sella and Varane, the latter who put in more of a West Brom cameo here than a Sheffield United one, to introduce late into these games is huge. And amidst the Friday night fun, it also feels like it slipped between the cracks that we did add one more to that selection headache, with 22-year-old right back Harrison Ashby joining on loan on deadline day to replace the outgoing Reggie Cannon. I'll be posting another transfer deep dive on him next week, so make sure you keep an eye on the channel for that one. And of course, most positively, we ended another summer transfer window with Elias Chair as a QPR player. Just think about the positives from this display of all the positives that have come from our performances so far, and then add him into the mix. We can surely only go upwards with him in the side, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that whenever that may be. That's enough from me. Do let me know what you thought of this performance in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video and you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and if you put notifications on, you will find out once I've posted that Harrison Ashby transfer deep dive video. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!